So as many of you are aware, President Trump announced the Abraham Accord. This agreement will attempt to normalize relations between Israel and the United Arab Emirates. I mean, this is a very big deal, as currently there are only two other peace treaties Israel has, and it is with Egypt and Jordan. I mean, essentially what this means is this is going to be a significant step towards building a more peaceful, a more secure, a more prosperous Middle East. I mean, the thought is now that the ice has been broken, that hopefully more Arab countries are going to follow. But what really caught my ear was when David Friedman stood up and he started to talk about this historic peace agreement. He began to talk about Abraham being the father of the three great faiths, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. And because Abraham is known and symbolizes peace and unity, the accord was given the name. Now, we who read the Bible and follow Jesus, we know right now that peace is not coming until Jesus completely dismantles this world system and reestablishes a new kingdom on earth. And so when I heard this, something in my spirit just didn't sit well. You know, I'm not a prophet and I don't claim to be one, but also something seemed very significant about this. So as I was scrolling through Instagram, I came across a couple of posts about this. And the captions that I saw, they left me a little unsettled. Not because what they were saying couldn't be true, but how dangerous it is as someone who has any influence at all to get on social media, on this platform, and to share your thoughts and your prophetic visions. I mean, Jesus is returning within months. Sound the alarms. Flee to the hills. Attention prophets. This part of the message is for you. It is 100% okay to warn and to be a voice to help wake up the sleepy ones. And that is what great prophets did. They spoke truth. They were bold. They cared enough to speak out to the lost and to be God's mouthpiece. But if this is you have to be very careful. Posting these kinds of messages and then leaving your followers with nothing else, it does nothing but creates panic and more fear. I mean, I think of that preacher in Kentucky somewhere. I think it was Kentucky. I believe his name was Dana Coverstone, who had the prophetic dream about what is going to happen this year and how in November we're going to have Chinese and Russian soldiers in our streets and how Trump is going to be missing and the world is just coming to an end. And he leaves us with this final message by saying, get your guns and stock up food and embrace yourself. That's what he said. Friends, what is that? I mean, what kind of message or what kind of preacher would leave a congregation with that kind of message? I mean, I'm sorry, but that's not even biblical. I mean, yes, we must prepare. We must brace ourselves. We must be diligent and be ready for Jesus' return. But that's not what Jesus told us to do. And so I feel this is reckless and it's an unacceptable way to leave the church. And what bothers me is I go in and I read the comments from listeners and followers, and what I see is panic and fear. People are not left encouraged. They're not left to challenge, to prepare the right way. They run to the gun store. They're running to the grocery store. They start building, an underground bunker in fear of what may come. I mean, where are these instructions in this book? They're not. So I want to take a minute and I want to leave you who are listening with some challenging encouragement, with biblical guidance. How I feel Jesus would want us to move forward in the face of all that's happening right now. Is the end near? Absolutely. When is it going to be? We don't know. Jesus only said we would know the season, but not exact hour and day. I mean, based on the season, the end seems near. It could be tomorrow. It could be in 100 years. We don't know and we aren't going to know. The things that I am positive about are these. God desires for us to be attached to Him. He is patient. He is merciful. He's long-suffering. I know He is calling us to Himself. I know that He is calling us to wake up. He is shaking things up to draw us to Himself. He is stripping us of comforts, stripping us of our idols. He's giving us a chance to repent and surrender. He's given us a chance to walk in obedience. I do believe we are walking in a Noah's Ark season, which, if any of you are familiar with that story, God gave the people a message, and many didn't listen. What happened? The door shut and they all perished. That day is coming. For sure, I know this. What does that mean for you? It means get right with God. It means stop playing games with the Lord. He is patiently giving you chance after chance after chance. The chances, my friends, are going to run out. And he's left us with many commands to obey until his return. It involves seeking him. It involves knowing him, loving him, and finishing the work that he left for us. That work, becoming his student, and then going and teaching others to become students. He's called us to love this dying world, which involves serving. It involves teaching. It involves sharing the gospel. It involves going into dark places and situations and being a light. The problem I am seeing is we aren't doing this. We are too busy following these prophets and allowing their words to leave us in a state of fear and panic when Jesus has already told us the outcome of the story. So I want to leave you with this. Is it getting bad and going to get worse? Yes. But knowing this, let us not hide in fear. Let us move forward boldly as soldiers for Christ. Worrying and hiding only shows one thing. We fear suffering and we fear hardship and we are clinging to this world when we have a priceless inheritance ahead of us. I mean, Jesus promised us he'd be with us till the end of age. He promises he's gone to prepare a place for us. He promised he would come back and rescue us. In the meantime, we are to remain diligent in our pursuit of holiness, and we are to expand the kingdom here on earth, period. We don't store up guns and ammo and food and hide in our bunker. Man, we're followers of the Most High King. We have the Spirit of the living God coursing through our veins. We stand firm. We stand tall. We follow the great shepherd who will protect his flock.